What's up, beautiful world? This is TNA, Top Notch Audio, and welcome to another episode of r/slash I Don't Work Here Lady. Our first story will be, My Wife Saw It Happen, followed by, I'm 4 years old, what's your excuse? And then, I just like dressing nicely, no, I don't work here. And finally, sorry lady, but please leave our school. If this is your first time listening, remember to hit that subscribe button on the bottom right hand corner. If this is not your first time, welcome back. Enjoy the stories. And this story is posted by u/rest=rust. My wife saw it happen. There's something about the way I look, dress, act that causes people to assume I work here, wherever I am at the time. It happened at restaurants a few times, Office Depot more than once, at a fancy resort in Hawaii, but it happens most often at Home Depot. It becomes an ongoing joke with me and my wife. I have told her dozens of times about these instances, and we are both entertained, but she rarely sees it happen firsthand. Yesterday, we were at a Home Depot picking up plastic storage bins. She and I together, pulling bins off the shelf and loading them into a cart, an older lady approached me. Oh well, excuse me, where do you keep your bug spray? Me, it's in outdoors right over there. Oh well, oh thank you. Also, I have these little fruit flies in my house. What do you recommend? Me, put a splash of wine in a glass, add 2 drops of dish soap, cover the top with saran wrap, poke a couple holes in the saran wrap with a toothpick. The bugs will be attracted by the wine, go inside, and not be able to find their way out. The soap will help them drown by breaking the surface tension on the wine. Oh well. Oh wow. Thank you so much for your help. The whole time my wife stood there like. After the old lady left, my wife told me how amazing it is to see this happen in real life and how quickly I transformed from a customer to an employee. I don't even bother to tell people I don't work here. And this story is posted by u/ALXWAK. I'm 4 years old. What's your excuse? Okay, first time poster on mobile. English is not my first language. If you decide to roast me, please use spices, cinnamon, allspice, ginger, whatever you like. I mentioned part of this story in a comment and people asked for the full story, so here it is. Little background. Since I became an adult and stopped working retail, I get an I Don't Work Here Lady almost every month. My wife says it's something on my face. This is the first time one of my kids was present. Also, for the place that happened, in my country, we have small shops that sell fresh products, mainly vegetables. On to the story. This happened in August. We live in a coastal city, walking distance from the beach. We both had 2 weeks off from work and spent every day at the beach with the kids. We usually go early in the morning and stay until noon and then maybe go back in the evening. That day, my wife had left early with our oldest to prep lunch and I stayed behind with our 4-year-old daughter. As we were preparing to leave, my wife called to tell me to pick some fresh vegetables we had ran out. The grocery store was on our way home, so it was okay. So we stop at the store, I exchange pleasantries with the owner, an old classmate of mine, and stay outside looking for what we need, while my daughter entered the store to talk with the owner's son, same age, same preschool. The owner has 2 customers inside the store. Next to me is a lovely old lady that asked if I could help put some of her groceries in her cart, especially 2 5 kg bags of potatoes. I see no reason not to, and I put them in the cart. She ranks me, half in my language, half in Russian. I replied in kind. I understand some of the language because some relatives of my grandma were from there and picked up some of language when I was growing up. She smiles and waves goodbye, and I return to my browsing, and the Karen emerges. I want 3 kg of onions, 4 kg of potatoes, and 3 kg of tomatoes. And be fast about it. I'm in a hurry. I turned around to see a middle-aged woman in a sundress, sunglasses, big hat, stereotypical Karen haircut with her arms crossed in front of her and tapping her foot. Because the store is self-service and I'm wearing swim trunks, an old t-shirt, flip-flops, I'm having my beach towel draped on my shoulder and carrying a ridiculously huge beach bag, I give her no mind and return to my shopping. Big mistake. Karen decides to break social distancing and grabs me by the shoulder. I gave you an order, boy. I'm 40 years old, by the way. Now do it or I'll get you fired. I don't work here. I reply and take a step backwards. Don't give me that BS. I saw you helping that other woman. She kindly asked for my help to move the bags. I still don't work here. So you only help your compatriots, you little spit? What a disgrace. And goes on a very racist rant, cursing every other word. At some point, we had gathered spectators. The owner had come out along with the kids, and my daughter decides to come to my rescue. My daughter doesn't like people fighting and finds creative ways to break them. Why are you screaming at my father? He already told you he doesn't work here. My daughter chirps in when Karen stopped for breath. Because he doesn't know his place. Now go away. Karen replies and starts to continue her rant. The owner is about to step in when my daughter turns around, drops her bikini bottom, moons her, and blows a raspberry. The Karen is momentarily stunned. That's rude, she manages to say. Well, I'm 4. What's your excuse? My daughter replies, fixing her bottoms. At that point, everybody, except Karen, starts laughing. Karen is doing her best imitation of a fish, her mouth opening and closing with no sound coming out. At that point, the owner steps in and tells her to leave and that her business is not welcome there. The rest of us have a good laugh, we pick our groceries and go home. For the rest of our vacation, my daughter would accompany me to the store and she was always scanning the customers with a hand clasped on the side of her bikini bottoms. And this story is posted by u/SoFloopyP. I just like dressing nicely. No, I don't work here. So there's a nice country shop near me, 26 female. It sells all sorts of nice shirts and everyday stuff, as well as high-end country brands and coats, etc. It was my day off and payday, so I wanted to go and treat myself. So I decided to dress up nicely in a pale blue shirt and some jeans with some boot heels. Coincidentally, a brand they stocked. I felt pretty good. Notably, the shop doesn't have a uniform. The staff have to wear on-brand clothing and are always greeting you and stuff, so they're obvious. Now, previously I worked in retail, so I feel for the staff when they shop looks like it's been ransacked and people just ruin all the neat folds and throw coats back wherever. So there I was, minding my own business, trying on a jacket. Decided I need another size, so I zipped up the one I just tried and put it back on the rail. Then some angry Karen is stood there like right over my shoulder, like personal space isn't a thing. Me, oh, sorry, were you wanting to look at these? Karen, no, I've been stood here trying to get your attention the last 5 minutes. I need this in another size. Can't believe how rude the staff is here. You can see I'm stood here holding the jacket. I just assumed this lady was shopping and had the jacket in hand because she wanted to buy it. Did not get a vibe at all. Me, oh sorry, no, I don't work. Karen, I mean preferably I like it in a navy if you have it. Thrust jacket towards me. Me, look, I do not work here. You can practically see the cogs turning at this point. Rather than apologizing, she goes on a tirade. Karen, well, why are you dressed like you work here? Me, excuse me? Literally, we are in a clothes shop. There is no uniform. I'm not wearing a badge. Karen, well, it's just plain misleading. It's so inconsiderate. By this point, a retail assistant walks over all smiles and asks can she help with any sizes or anything. Karen points at me. Karen, does she work here? Me, visible WTF. RA, no, sorry. Karen, then why is she dressed like she does? Both me and the assistant were just lost for words. I gave her a few stern words after she then started dropping F-bombs at the employee. The girl was on the brink of tears. Karen stormed out saying she was going to leave a terrible review. I apologized on behalf of Karen and for losing them her custom. Retail assistant reappeared with the manager 2 minutes later who laughed and praised me for handling it diplomatically. Offered me a 10% goodwill discount on anything I chose as well as a job. I've worked there for 2 years now, never saw Karen again. And this story is posted by u/flythew0816. Sorry lady, but please leave our school. Okay, so I do work at the actual location that this story takes place. However, not at the area in question. You'll see in a minute. So I work at a university as an admissions recruiter, and last summer I was walking through the building after my lunch and saw a woman wandering through the empty first floor. As soon as she saw me, she beamed over to me as fast as she could. Excuse me, where's the Chick-fil-A? So we have an express Chick-fil-A that is entirely student run in one of our secondary dining halls, and while it is closed between the months of May to July, it still shows up as a location on all internet map sites for reasons we will never know. I think you know where this is going. This was last year, so the dialogue was close to this. Me, oh, it's down the hall that way, leading into the other building. But I'm sorry, it's closed for the summer. Lady, closed? But the app says open. M, oh, we don't have any control over what's online, but I can tell you it's closed like all other dining sites on campus. L, why are you telling people on Google that it is open and we come all the way down here? M, I'm sorry, I don't work in campus dining or Chick-fil-A, so I can't say why they mark it open, but there is a full restaurant like 5 minutes up that way. L, but I wanted to eat here. Why are you advertising somewhere that isn't open and luring us out here? You should be ashamed of what you're doing. M, again, we didn't advertise. L, let me speak to your supervisor. I need to talk to him about your store. Store? I'm an associate admissions director. I don't have a supervisor other than the director herself, and this is definitely not something she cares to hear about, but I knew this lady had a story in her head and wasn't going away easily, so I had an idea. M, sorry ma'am, but I have a presentation starting soon, but I hope you find an answer to your question. I began walking back towards the office I actually answered legitimate questions at, and sure enough, this lady followed me like an angry gremlin. As I walked, I quickly texted our secretary a short brief of what was happening, and then put some distance between me and Gremlin Woman as we entered the office. Secretary, hi ma'am, how can I help you today? L, well, I'd like to complain about the terrible business practice by your restaurant, and your employee here has no skills related to the customer service industry. S, confused. I'm sorry, what restaurant? Gremlin Lady proceeds to go on a tangent about us and Chick-fil-A and restaurant management, etc., and our secretary, who has 30 years of working in higher education, has the most disappointed in humanity look on her face I've ever seen. S, ma'am, we are a university admissions office, and if you don't have any questions regarding that, you have to take your concerns to somewhere else. L, no, I want to do this here. She slammed her fist into the desk on here. S, standing up and picking up phone. I'm going to have to call our campus police, who are located across the walkway here. I'd advise you, if you don't want to be escorted out and possibly arrested, you should please leave our school now. At this, the gremlin's eyes widened a bit as she processed her next move. She then huffed and stormed out of our office. I'm not sure what happened to her exactly, but her story made for a hilarious story on our Friday meeting, and I bought our secretary a week's worth of coffee. Oh man, those were 4 great stories. To hear the best stories of the week, click on the video in the top left-hand corner. To hear more Reddit stories all related to what you just heard, click on the video in the top right-hand corner. And if you have not already done so, click on the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner. Once again, this is TNA, Top Notch Audio. Thank you for listening, and have yourself a great day.